now, coming to you live from atop the Lavender Town Radio Tower, it's the one, the only, PUCL Podcast.
It's PUCL! PUCL! It's PUCL! PUCL! Pokemon Underground Champions League, oh yeah! PUCL! PUCL.
And welcome to the 539th episode of the PUCL Podcast. I am your host, Trainer Thatch, here today with my wonderful, as always, co-host. We've got the fluffiest, as always, Whimsicott.
Hi.
And we've got the man himself, the piddle in chief. We've got Clod9.
The big cheese.
Clod the big cheese X109.
How do you do? Yeah, I evolved this year. I'm now Clod 10.
But in my heart, you'll always be Clod9.
No, I'm still Clod 9.
Well, welcome to the PUCL Podcast. This is an earlier than usual recording, but I promise I'm awake.
I can't promise that same thing.
Yeah, this is the PUCL Podcast, PUCL, where we talk everything Pokemon, from the trading card game to the video game and everything in between. I'm very excited to just hang out and chat today. I would talk about things I did in Pokemon this week, but I've done none because I've been working on my basement so that I can play more Pokemon.
Fair.
My basement floor, like, I bought a really cheap basement floor when I bought the house and I put it in, and then I'm paying for that in the form of, like, the floor started falling apart. So I had to go buy a new floor that was more than 58 cents a square foot. And I'm now currently in the process of installing that. And I've been spending all week doing that because I'm cleaning it up pretty nice. Like, we're repainting the basement at the same time and redoing all the trim work and everything. It's going to look a lot better than it did before, but
nice.
It's taken a lot of my time, let me tell you. I was gonna play. I was gonna play Showdown yesterday too. I was just like, I got some time. I'm gonna play some Showdown, and I was like, nope, it's April 1st. I'm not gonna play Showdown.
Yep, no, you don't want to do that.
Worst time to play. Don't do it.
It's literally the worst day to play Showdown of the year. So I was just like, yeah, I'm gonna wait until tomorrow. Yep. And tomorrow is here, but I just woke up an hour ago, so I haven't had time to play Showdown yet.
See, I learned this morning there was a command that can turn off all the new sprites, and I'm like, why didn't I know this yesterday?
Yeah, I completely understand. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. All right. What about you guys? You guys do anything? Anything fun this past week or so?
Well, pretty much the same thing on different sides. PDL.
That's true.
Yeah.
How's that going?
Yeah. So far, so good.
Yeah. I think my draft is better than it was the last time I played.
Okay.
I would agree with that.
Thank you. I mean, last time it really sucked, but that's another story. But I think all of my positive feelings about my team and my ability to be a true competitor this season are going to crash and burn because week 1, I'm playing Seth Philo. So, yeah. And it's just not going to be fun.
Yeah, it's really hard if you get off on a bad foot. You just get into your head.
Yes.
And you're just like, am I actually good at this? I don't think I'm good at this. And then, womp womp.
Well, the thing is, I don't think I'm currently good at it. But I thought I can at least, like, give people a fun match and have a fun match myself. I think the gap between me and Seth, especially right now, is just so wide that I don't know if I can do that.
I don't know about that, though.
I actually don't know about that. I'm going to be honest.
I have played one match of OU in the past 3 years.
And he does talk Battlecast, so...
He does talk Battlecast, but I think that's all he does.
No, I think he's played some.
I don't think he's as fresh as you think he is.
Okay.
And that's the big difference, is that OU is not the same as Draft.
Yes.
So.
Yes, OU and Draft are completely different animals.
I haven't played Draft in 3 years either, so...
OU and Draft are completely different animals. Like, you can't make Choice Band Lappers work.
You can.
I know.
I mean, you can, it's harder to know you than it is in draft.
Yes. In draft, you can make it work.
But the chess mindset behind OU and draft, once you are playing, is mostly the same.
Well, yeah, but in my experience,
Yes.
that's kind of like riding a bike. The only difference is there's some new pieces you've got to learn how they work, and that's about it.
I guess.
Yeah, I think the big difference is the fact that you're like OU, you are playing chess. Everyone has the same pieces, or what pieces your opponents can have.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Whereas in draft, you have to figure out what pieces they do have and what they do.
You have to carve your own pieces.
Yes.
Exactly. You also have to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a mix, but I was very pleased. We got through, I think, all of the drafts in like 2 days, which is like incredible. Things went super smoothly.
That is actually really fast for a slow draft.
I know.
Yeah.
We just made it available for everyone to, make their picks and whatnot, and people just ran with it and had a lot of fun.
Yeah, yeah. That's always good. I think that's a good time.
Yeah, and now we're in the fun part of week 1 is this weekend next week, so...
Yeah.
That's true. That's true. That is going to be very exciting. Well, we'll see how it turns out.
Yeah, I'm excited. There's going to be a lot of fun games. We've already seen a bunch of stuff already that's been extremely fun to watch.
Yes.
If you want to watch anything, please come and watch Dialga. It's going to be by far the most exciting. Because it's a lot of the new people.
I think so too.
They're always, it's great.
I'm having such a good time watching the Dialga matches. The last one from last night, chef's kiss. So much fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, I absolutely agree and recommend. People should go check it out, have fun while they're playing it as well. We've got, I think we've got PFTT coming up soon too, right?
I haven't started any of that. But yeah.
We should do that soon.
Oh, we should consider doing that, I guess.
Yeah, why not? People like it.
I don't know, the VGC format's kind of stale and bad right now.
I would agree almost with that, but I feel like we have to do it for posterity, and I want to do it. So,
sure.
If you don't do it, I'll do it.
Please.
No one is saying we have to use the current set of rules. So
that's also true. We could always go back on that and do something else.
Do like the non-Dynamax one, which was fun.
We could also even well, not even non-Dynamax, but we could make our own ban list, right? Like we could do the current format with a ban list.
Oh, yes.
Ooh, that could be fun.
We just take the numbers from PUCLytics.
Yeah, just take out the top 10
and cut the top.
Just take out cut the top 10 from VGC.
No, let's cut out the top 20.
Let me take a look before you do that, but because honest answers, like if we ban Incineroar, Kyogre, and Zacian, I'm happy.
That's pretty much it, yeah.
That's pretty much my like. If we cut those out in the top 10, oh look who the top 3 are. I would. It would be great. Like even if you do the top 10, you lose a ton. Actually, you lose Zacian, you lose Incineroar, you lose Kyogre. You lose Regieleki, you lose Grimmsnarl, you lose Thundurus, you lose Rillaboom, you lose Groudon, you lose Calyrex Shadow Rider, you lose Amoonguss.
But on that note, though, I do want to give a big congratulations to, I believe it's Lloyd. It's 11 OID or Lloyd,
yeah.
for winning the UTC this year.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Ooh.
Yay, congrats. Woo woo.
I'm not sure if this was his first tournament or not, but he did an incredible job running through Top Cut, being the 3rd overall seed after the regular season, and just playing extremely, extremely well.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, okay, so if you take out the top 20, you do take out Whimsicott. Just a heads up.
No, you can't do that.
But you do take out Charizard and Lando, if you do it.
Okay, the trade-off with Lando is...
And for some reason, you take out Palkia, because Palkia is in the top... Well, actually, I understand why Palkia is in the top 20. Palkia is good as an anti-Kyogre measure, but if you take out Kyogre, I don't think Palkia is as good.
Not at all.
So, you actually get... If the top 20, you actually get rid of a lot of stuff.
I think it might be interesting.
I'm kind of into this idea, Claude. I'm kind of into this idea. So we should definitely consider cutting the top 20. After looking at the top 20, maybe we cut the top 20 because then you're going to have really interesting teams. It'll be a good time. All right. Well, this is a good place to stop. We got some news to talk about here, guys. So we're going to kick it on over to the news. Cue that epic music.
Lavender Town Radio Tower. This just in.
And welcome to the news. We've got only a few things to talk about today, so much so that Sigma, who puts together our news, he filled it in with some fillers. So, but the thing that I love this week was I don't know if you saw this. This is the first bullet, but the Scarlet and Violet Pokemon news playlist on YouTube, it got updated recently, and the number of videos I saw on YouTube from PokeTubers about they updated the playlist, news soon. And I'm just like, I hate all of you because you all know just as much as I do that we're not going to get anything and that they just updated like the video or something.
Yeah.
And that's all that happened. And you all know it, but you're all milking it because you know all Pokemon fans are going to be freaking out because like if they did something at the end of March, that would be extremely off cycle for them.
Yes.
And I don't think they would ever do that. And they obviously didn't.
Now, there's a lot of rumors about when news is going to drop, and everyone wants to be the first one to say, I called it right.
Yeah, I feel like being the kind, I don't know. I feel like there's more honor in admitting that you don't know because nobody knows.
Yeah.
I feel like there's more honor in that than trying to be like, ha, I predicted it right. Because if you try to predict everything, you're going to predict like 90% of things wrong. And you're just going to look bad 90% of the time. And you get that feel good adrenaline rush like 10% of the time that you quote unquote called it based on a guess, right? It's a gamble.
It's the weatherman syndrome.
Exactly. Yeah, that's probably true, I guess. I don't know. I don't feel that way.
It's very hard to predict the future when you don't know it.
Yeah, I don't really feel like trying to predict it. Like the answer is I'll be the weatherman right now. There's a 90% chance of news between the end of the month of April and the first 2 weeks of June.
You don't say.
Wow.
Yeah, well, did you hear E3 got canceled like hard?
I heard. I was very surprised.
Yeah, everything.
Oh, wow.
The whole thing got canceled. So it like that's no bueno for E3, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole thing just got canceled. So like that's usually so Pokemon never really presents any new things at E3. The only time they ever presented something new was they presented Fairy Type in 2013. But they typically always put out a video like 2 weeks ahead of E3. At E3, they typically have like the Nintendo Treehouse live events where they go through and they play through some of the new games they've just announced, which is fine. And they want to have Pokemon ready, but Pokemon wants to be its own thing and not be honestly like hardcore associated with Nintendo. I think it's because Pokemon still lives in this really weird middle ground where it's kind of a first party title, but it's also kind of not.
Yeah.
And so they try to keep everything separate from about Pokemon from like the general Nintendo stuff, or at least mainline Pokemon games, I should say.
Yes,
because they'll be like, yes, a Pokemon Rumble Blast is coming, and everybody goes, yeah,
Who cares?
Yeah.
Cafe Mix Remix Deluxe ×3.
Yeah, exactly. Cafe Remix or Cafe Remix Redeluxe package because nobody's playing it still. Except for Joe Merrick.
Cafe Deluxe reheated in a microwave.
Yeah, exactly.
The Stofers Pokemon Cafe Remix.
Well, that was a nice rant about how Pokemon news works. Talking about more news, I'll let Whimsicott take the next one.
Yes, the anime celebrated its 25th anniversary this past week, and we do not feel old at all.
To be fair, the 25th anniversary this past week, after the 25th anniversary of Pokemon's happened, I don't feel that bad actually.
Well, the first time
it's like the Japanese version too, right? So like,
yeah, but that was the Japanese version of the game as well. I just feel old because like I know these are the Japanese dates, and I didn't actually first see the Pokemon anime 25 years ago, but I did see the anime first.
Yeah,
and so even if it doesn't really line up, it feels.
I think outside of Japan, the anime actually aired before the game release.
I don't know about that.
I'm almost certain because I've looked into this before because I believe September of 1998 is when Red and Blue released, and I believe the anime it was at the end of the month, and the anime launched at the beginning of the month.
I know it wasn't the case in Italy.
Because all I remember was 1998 is when I got Red. I remember getting it for Christmas in like those like Costco like bundles where it's, here's your Game Boy Color plus a game.
Yes. I remember the Costco Sam's Club bundles. Yes. Let me take a look real quick. Did
they do anything special for the anniversary of the anime other than, I know they released a new trailer.
They released like a little video, I think, and that's about it. To be like, this is cute.
I guess it was just another light week of news, for Pokemon. Because they said like in the fall, Nintendo was going to start Release Watch. Because they've already pushed, Legend of Zelda till 2023 spring, which is honestly good.
Yes.
I saw that coming, honestly. One, because we already have Pokemon coming out in November, right? It's coming out in November. And yes. So you don't really, like, these are like two heavy-hitting games.
You don't want them to have to compete with each other.
Exactly.
No.
And so and also you can like release it in March. I think March 17th, 2023 is actually a Friday. Which would
it's the anniversary of Breath of the Wild 1.
So they can just be like 6 years later and on the same day. See, that I guarantee you that's what happens.
Well, it's like how a lot of music artists coordinate when they're releasing certain songs.
Yes.
Because you don't want to be releasing music the same day that like Taylor Swift is dropping a new album.
Okay, so I have these numbers, by the way. Pokemon Anime, first episode aired in the US September 8th, 1998. Pokemon Red and Blue launched in the US September 28th, 1998.
Oh, okay.
Fun facts. So they had a commercial for the game.
It was the other way around here. I think the games released initially like October or November of 99, and the anime came out January 10th of 2000.
Oh, that's such a delay.
I didn't own a Game Boy, so I had no idea the games were even a thing.
Yeah, that's fair.
So I just, saw the anime and I was like, fun.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it's a cute. The original Pokemon anime, like the first 5 seasons, are legitimately decent. I like the dubs as well because it was before. It was like in the time when honestly studios didn't know how to handle dubs.
Yeah,
and so they would take a lot of free. The reign was a lot freer, and they were a lot less true to the source material.
Donuts.
Oh yeah, donuts. But then you also get like the fun things where you get like the fun little quips that like Jesse and James have.
Oh gosh,
which were really fun back in the day. Like it makes, because like going back and watching it as like a 30-year-old versus watching it as a kid, there's still like entertainment value there. I don't know. I feel like at least kids cartoons used to be good about being entertaining to like the parents that have to also sit in the room at the same time.
Which is kind of why I'm here. Because I was 17. I was only entertained by Jesse and James. So.
Honestly, I could believe that. Because they did those fun quips where they would just make really... Like, some of those jokes are graphic.
Well, that, and like, they gave much more backstory to Jesse and James and Meow than they ever did to Ash, Misty, or Brock in the beginning.
Well, Ash is 10, so...
Yes, and no, actually, I think most of that comes from Pokemon Chronicles, which is really cool, by the way.
Well, I'm not even saying that. I'm talking, like, I remember there being lots of episodes about, James as a child.
All right, moving on. For Sword and Shield, you can now still sign up for the International Challenge that gives out the Galarian Moltres. You can...
yes, Ronald McMoltres.
And that's open until the end of April 14th, and then it starts the weekend after that. I should do that on stream. That sounds like a good time. I should do that on stream. I have no good team right now, so I'm gonna have to get back into VGC shape and give it a shot.
Especially for PFTT.
For PFTT. Well, with the exception for this one, I'll probably run Zacian Kyogre because I'm unoriginal. And boo. I agree with you.
If it ain't broke.
If it works though, Claude, that's the problem.
In BDSP news, the Darkrai event is now live just for this month of April, and it is shiny huntable, much like the Shaming one. So have fun with that.
This one's probably the most nostalgic for me of all of them. Because like, I don't know, like when I first really got super, super deep into Pokemon was Gen 4. When I was like getting like real into the nitty gritty, and like that Darkrai was like the first mythical where I was just like, I can't wait for this guy to be released. I understand how stats work, and it's going to be amazing. And it's just it's really interesting and fun, and I'm excited for it. It brings back a lot of nostalgia.
Yeah. All right, but now it's time for everyone's favorite segment of Pokemon Go news.
Yes.
There's going to be a Community Day Classic for the so lovable Mudkip.
Who doesn't love Mudkip?
We all like. Who doesn't like Mudkips?
I heard you like them.
Yeah.
I heard that too. It's going to be from April 10th from 2 to 5 p.m. local time.
Yeah, shrink those times because that's productive.
Yeah. There was also a Go Fest that's been announced for June 4th and 5th with a finale on August 27th. The logo is Shaman themed.
Ooh, so that's how you get Shaman.
There'll be a handful of live events. Most relevant for listeners, the one in Seattle from July 22nd to 24th. Because I know we have a bunch of Seattle listeners and friends and people.
Is Go Fest going to be is it going to be like not in person again and let you just buy the ticket and have fun? Because I think that is the better version of Go Fest.
I think it's also going to be in specific locations.
Yeah, there are 3 locations.
I'm okay with it being both. I just thought, like, the original Go Fest I thought was stupid because they forced everybody to go to Chicago and play Pokemon Go together. And I'm just like, this is really dumb. Because you have a limited number of spots, and that makes it even worse.
And then nothing worked anyway. So
yeah, exactly. So I'm okay as long as they give me an option to play it at home.
Mm-hmm.
Also, there's a rocket event happening in Go, running through April 7th. Salandit's going to be added to 12k eggs. Womp womp.
That's going to be miserable. Don't you love that 87% chance at a male?
Yeah, right. And it would appear Giovanni is going to be receiving Shadow Latios in the data mine. So you can get your Latios and Latios. I like the Giovanni stuff. That was very interesting when they added that as ways to get legends outside of raids. I want more ways to get legends outside of raids.
Yeah.
That's all.
All right.
Well, that's the news. We're going to kick it on over now to Puckle's Poke Quiz, where we're going to quiz your co-host on their insane Pokemon knowledge.
Hello and welcome to the Poke Quiz, the part of the show where we quiz your co-hosts on their insane Pokemon knowledge. I'm Professor Snag with the rules. The co-hosts are working together as a team to answer 5 Pokemon-themed trivia questions that you, the listeners, have submitted on the Discord server. Each question is worth 1 point, with Pokedex and multiple answer questions worth more, for a total of 7 points. The hosts can use a free hint at any time. If they get all the answers correct without using the hint, they can cash it in for an 8th point.
And thank you for those rules. We're going to get started with our trivia this week. Our trivia is going to start with, just general trivia like always. And our first one is going to come from Zachary, Ice-type trainer.
Oh, no.
So we all know that Sword and Shield had a curry dex. There's an amount of various curries that can be cooked. How many types of curry does it take to fill up the curry dex? And I'm going to give you a plus or minus 10 on this, maybe.
Oh, gosh. I remember it being an absurdly high number.
It was really high.
The number actually has a callback to other things, but you'll...
Yeah. So
that tells me it's like 151 or something like that.
Yeah, it was around that. So let's see.
That would be my guess. Would just be like 151 because it's the original Pokemon.
Yeah, I think we can try to math it out just to be sure.
Okay,
because,
so plus or minus 10.
Yeah, there are how many flavors? Like 5 flavors. Yeah, okay, so 5 flavors. And then I think you have every single ingredient, which is like... Could it be 30 ingredients? I want to say it could be because you have salad.
5 flavors, 30 ingredients, which would be 150.
Yeah.
All right, let's just go with 150.
Yeah, 150 is within the margin of error. The answer is 151.
Okay, cool.
Cool.
But
all right.
There you go. I don't even have any fun facts about this one like Liger usually gives me. He just says, 151.
I need to find out what the secret 151st curry is.
Yeah. All right, so you guys are 1 for 1. Your next question is going to come from G McP. Oh wow. You know what? I'm still going to do it. What is the highest HP value a legal TCG card has? This means that it's printed on the card and it excludes promo cards not intended for play because there's some with like 1,000. So just as a heads up.
Well, obviously I have no
I'll give you
idea.
a plus or minus 10 HP on this, okay, right? So you don't have to be right on, but close.
Still have no clue.
Gosh, I don't know where they're at anymore. Because I know back in the old days, when I say old days, like when it was the tag team, there was Waylord and Magikarp, and that was 300. But I don't think it's like that anymore.
I mean, it didn't say the card had to be in rotation.
Yes, but I'm almost positive all the new V stuff is even higher.
Okay. So could it have gone to like 340?
I think it would have gone even higher. I mean,
Well, that's just dumb, in my opinion, but I believe you.
I mean, that's what I think. I think it's, you know, it could go as high as like 500 probably, just because
What?
things are nuts.
Well, just give me a number, Claude. Give me a number.
Yeah.
I know it's above 300. That's all I know.
I'm giving you a margin of error of like 10 HP on either side of the answer, so.
Okay, if you're doing 10 on either side, maybe like 320?
I would like to say
350?
350. Yeah, so
Let's do
if it's
350.
like, yeah.
350 is within the margin of error. The actual answer is 340.
How?
Okay.
Why did I know that?
There are 3 cards that hit this: Snorlax VMAX, Copperajah VMAX, and Eternus VMAX.
Oh, we're not that high. I thought we'd hit 500.
No, we hit 340. We've
I
only
am
hit
reassured.
500 would be too much, man. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
The
insanity is contained.
The 340 mostly just prevents anything from being 2-shot. Or no, it requires everything to be 2-shot because like you can hit just about 300 with some attacks.
Okay.
But you can't hit
if it's
340.
super effective and stuff. Okay.
Yeah, with 340 it prevents that. All right. So you guys are 2 for 2. Your next question is your Pokedex entry question, as always. And we are going to get this one from Kester. Its Pokemon Alpha Sapphire entry reads, inside this Pokemon's body burns a flame that never goes out. During the daytime, when the temperatures rise, this Pokemon releases flames from its mouth to prevent its body from growing too hot. Who's that Pokemon?
Definitely a water type.
I think it's Love Disc. Only if it makes sense.
Definitely.
I know, what am I talking about? Octillery has flamethrowers, so it has to be Octillery. My mind immediately went to Cyndaquil.
Okay. Not
I don't know if that's
bad.
right, but it's just...
I just like the idea that something inside it and then it opens its
Litwick.
mouth. But Litwick doesn't spit flames out of its mouth. The
No,
flame is burning on
not.
top of it.
I guess
So,
it could be like a
actually-
Magmar?
Or, and hear me out, this might be stupid. What if it's a dragon type and not a fire type?
That makes sense, but it's silly.
I know.
I would guess it's more closer to like Torkoal than it is to a fire type.
Okay. It's just, for some
Torkoal
reason
sounds like a fire turtle, and that has fire.
Yeah, but it like Torkoal also causes hot days, so I would
I'm gonna
imagine
need an
it would
answer here,
thrive
guys.
in there. Okay,
Oh,
Claude,
gosh.
you pick.
I'm
I
going
trust
Torkoal.
you. Okay.
Torkoal is incorrect. Your next
Great,
entry
next one.
is from Leaf Green. And it reads, when it is born, it has just one snow-white tail. The tail splits from its tip as it grows older.
Okay, it's Vulpix.
No, I think it's Torkoal.
I just said Torkoal wasn't right, Claude.
I know, I'm just having fun.
Vulpix is correct. 3 for 3. There we go. Your next question is your multiple answer question. And you get up to, or you can get up to 3 points here. There are 8, there are 4 answers. We're going to go with the other one. That's 4 answers. That you can get. If you give me all 4, you get bragging rights. You get 1 point for each.
Okay.
Otherwise, this is from Professor Snag. In Pokemon
hi.
Red and Pokemon Blue, there were 4 Pokemon you can only obtain in the game by trading with an NPC. What are
Yes.
those 4 Pokemon?
Farfetch'd, I think.
Farfetch'd is one of them.
That is correct.
Then I want to say maybe Jinx.
I have to like
perhaps?
go through the stuff in my head. So
Yeah.
the first one that you encounter, you can't do because it's Poliwhirl for Jinx, and that's the only way to get Jinx.
Jinx is
Okay,
correct.
so the second one is Jinx.
Then you
Cool.
have the...
There's two more.
I'm trying to think. I'm going from there down in the tunnel below. There was Nidoran for Nidoran, but you can get that. And
Yeah, you can get that.
you trade a Spearow for a Farfetch'd.
Yeah, Ducks, the Farfetch'd.
Yep. You can only get in the game through trade.
Through trade. Okay,
No.
so...
Does that count? Like, because I know
Yes.
you used to be able to trade a Raichu for an Electrode, and that's the only way you can get.
Yeah,
an
but you can
Electrode, but you can
evolve
not-
a Voltorb.
You can evolve a
Yeah.
Voltorb.
So,
So these
no,
are things that
no.
you literally cannot
Oh.
get any other way.
Can
Mr.
you-
Mime, right?
Mr.
Don't
Mime,
you get
exactly. Can you catch
An
Mr.
average
Mime?
Mr. Mime.
That is correct.
Yeah.
That is 3. There's a fourth one. Do you know it? If not, I'll just reveal it.
I want to say it's something dumb, like, I don't
Yes.
know, Lickitung.
It is Lickitung. It is Lickitung.
Yes,
Oh, it's
okay.
a Slowbro for Lickitung?
It is Slowbro for Lickitung. Yeah.
That's the only way to get Lickitung in that game, really?
That is the only way to get Lickitung. You can get
No.
Farf. Yeah. I don't think Lickitung might be available
In yellow, maybe.
in yellow.
In the Safari Zone.
Okay.
But it's not in red and blue. That is the only way to get it, which is kind of weird to think about. Because like I don't know, I feel like Lickitung's such an iconic Pokemon, and they shoved it. I don't know, when they just made Pokemon available via trades only, it feels kind of weird.
Very.
It feels
Yeah.
kind of weird
Because
Yeah.
you're like, is this even native to the region?
No, like
It was
Farfetch'd.
such a common TCG card. Gosh.
Like yeah, I even like Farfetch'd. I don't even think is catchable ever in Gen 1.
No, it's not.
No.
It's like the first time you can catch a wild Farfetch'd is Gold and Silver.
Wow. So literally every Farfetch'd in Gen 1 was named Ducks.
Yes.
Yep.
Isn't that awful?
Yes.
Like that's the worst part of all of it is that like they were stuck with those nicknames, and so when you went to Pokemon Stadium, they chose the colors based on nicknames.
Oh, so they were all the same.
They were all like odd colors. They never looked like an actual Farfetch'd.
How many kids spent years believing that Farfetch was called Ducks?
Yeah, right. It's just I hated forced nicknames from trades. They were the worst.
Same.
I'm glad they got rid of that recently. So good for them. All right. So that gives you guys 3 points there. So you're 6 for 4. Yeah. You haven't used the hint yet either. So
Going
just as
for a top dog 8 answer.
you can go for
point.
8 here if you get this answer correct.
We can try.
This is your base stat question as always.
Oh,
and-
my favorites.
And this is going to come from Farmer Fox. And Farmer Fox wants to know which Mega Pokemon has the lowest base stat. Not base stat total, just like the lowest base stat.
Mega Beedrill, possibly?
Mega Beedrill's defense is like 15.
Yeah, but there might be something lower. Let's think about it for a moment. So, it's lower than... how fast is Mega Slowbro?
30 base speed.
Okay.
It's the same as regular Slowbro. I'm pretty sure Mega Beedrill has 15 defense or something, or special attack or
A
something.
special
absurd like
attack,
that.
I think. I think it's
Yeah.
15 special attack. Like, they moved all of the stats for Beedrill to be
to
able to
attack
do
me.
something. Yes.
What else are really, really like Megamons?
Unbalanced Megas.
Not so unbalanced, just like
So, is there anything that like becomes a mega and has a really low stat stay the same? I don't.
I'm trying to like go through the list of things in my head, and
Yeah, I know.
it's gotta be Mega Bee. It's gotta be Mega
Yeah.
Bee. I'm putting all my eggs in the Mega Bee basket.
Same.
Mega Beedrill is correct.
Woo.
Beedrill has a 15 in special attack, which is actually also the lowest of all poison types. Fun fact.
Oh,
Next would be Sableye and Camerupt with 20 speed, and then Slowbro and Steelix with 30 speed.
Okay.
okay.
There you go. That's a whole 8 points for you guys, though, which is might matter, depending on how the next week goes with Linian. It might matter. Let's find out. Okay, so Claude has. We're gonna put the points there, and we're gonna put the points there. Okie dokie. And
I have 30 points.
You do not have
I
30
won.
points.
What are you talking about? Last time I was on, I had 22, and now I have 30. It's just that.
In first place, we have Linian with 22 points. In second place, we have Whimsicott with 14 points. In third place, we have Clod9 with 8 points. In fourth place, we've got a tie between Mark and Seth Vilo with 7. And in sixth place, we've got Shamu with 6. And everybody else has yet to get on the board. On that note, we are going to kick it on over to the topic. Hey, would you like a green Tauros badge? Well, you can have one. If you come over to our Patreon at patreon.com/PuCL Podcast, we are going to be giving them out once we hit $850. We're going to be giving those to every patron at the $10 plus tier because we love you guys. We'd love to see this project made. Of course, if we hit any other thresholds on the way there, such as $800 for the week-long giveaways to the community, that would also happen as well. So if you'd be interested in getting a green Tauros badge, feel free. Come on over. If you can't support the show, don't worry about it. You just listening is enough for us. So until then, though, guys, I'm Thatch, and I'll catch you guys on the flip-flop. And welcome to the topic. Our topic today is going to be what changes do we want to see across, or do we enjoy across generations, and then how can we extrapolate that further? I'd like to kick things off if you guys don't mind, because
Please do.
This is from Kester on Discord, because I asked people this morning, because I usually take time to prep for the show in the morning, but we started way earlier than we usually do, so I did not prep as much as I usually do. They suggested, what changes across generations have you liked the most? I thought about that for a little bit, and I said, you know, pretty much every generation when they just make competitive more accessible.
Yes.
So your answer is Gen 2 when they added special defense?
In terms of changes in general, that's on the list. Physical special split is on the list. Just in terms of things making competitive make more sense and easier to understand. Gen 6 is very much so on the list in terms of how easy it was to breed.
Okay, yep.
The introduction of bottle caps to some extent in Gen 7. And then Generation 8 was fantastic about a number of things in terms of accessibility.
They just gave us almost everything.
They just hand you things. They just hand you everything.
All right, so I have a big list of a lot of the changes that happen throughout every single generation.
Oh, okay. Do we just want to rank these? Do we just want to go good, bad, thumbs up, thumbs down?
Well, no, I'm gonna share it with you guys because it's the first answer is the what I'm looking at. But there's a lot of things I didn't realize that came with a lot of the generations.
I see. Yeah, no, there's a lot of things that happen. There's a lot of things that happen from gen to gen. I absolutely agree with you. My favorite of them is still from the competitive standpoint. But we're definitely in the minority from competitive, right? In terms of Pokemon players. But
the physical special split did so much to the game.
Yes.
That it changed almost every Pokemon. Or at least a lot of the Pokemon now they're these, it makes more sense.
Well, it made a lot of them make more sense. Well, it didn't doom you if you had a high attack stat and you were a water type.
Exactly.
It didn't doom you because your type was based in a certain stat. I understand why they did it, probably to save some coding room, but when you got to the DS, they had enough data to be every move can be coded differently.
Yeah.
The other big thing in my mind that really changed that, that added another level to it all was Gen 5 when they added hidden abilities to the Pokemon.
Hidden abilities were big, actually.
Well, it's hidden abilities and infinite usage TMs.
That was the big one.
As a casual player, being able to use the TMs you get from a gym leader and not have to be I should save this just in case.
I agree with you in that regard. I really like the way that they handled TRs in Gen 8 specifically. Where they are single use, but they are a resource you can go obtain.
And I'm fine with that too.
I don't know.
I think that is a much healthier way to do it than the way where it was just you have one TM26, good luck, and you move on with life.
I don't see why we had to go back from collect all the 100 TMs and then you're done.
Yeah.
And then you can have infinite number of competitive Pokemon with this move if you need them. I like that better.
I like the resource grind a little bit just because it encourages you to play the game, right? There are a lot of stories I've heard, and this is the worst of the worst case scenario. I don't think everybody does this, but VGC, there are some VGC players in particular who legitimately don't play the entire game or just get to the point in the game where they can get to competitive.
And
and that's it. I kind of understand. if like that's the way I mean, I'm being a little judgy here, I guess, which is a little rude, but
it's okay. You know what? I'm gonna go through this list that Claude gave us, and I'm gonna give you my favorite change in every step from
That's
one
fair.
generation to the other.
Let's do that. Let's go through each generation and say our favorite thing.
well, we don't count Gen 1, right? We just count Gen 2. Yeah.
No, don't count Gen 1 because like that's Pokemon.
Well, Gen 1 gave us, from no Pokemon to Pokemon, so big one.
No Pokemon, 2 Pokemon.
Mhm.
Fan of the whole making Pokemon a thing,
Yep, definitely.
I think that was a pretty decent idea on their end, right?
Yes.
In Gen 2, I'm gonna be honest, possibly my favorite thing is shiny Pokemon. I know it's dumb, but
I don't know. Back when we were sprite-based, shinies looked way better.
yes.
Shinies looked way...
yes.
Except for the ones... Okay, I should say all of the Pokemon up to Gen 5, back when we were sprite-based, their shinies looked better.
Yes.
Mm-mm.
The shinies that came out post 3D, they crafted really well, and I think a lot of them are good.
I mean, the thing is, they are conceptually better because they're not like random.
Yes.
Mhm.
But at the same time, the 3D models have been so washed out that the shinies lose a lot. So it's, win some, lose some situation.
Yeah, well, like the new Pokemon get like specific shinies that don't look washed out because they don't make them like the same way they used to, right?
Mhm.
Exactly. But the old shinies have suffered.
Yeah. I absolutely agree with you.
See, I didn't realize a lot of the mechanics that I really enjoy from the game, a lot of them came from Gen 2. Like, you
Yes.
have the special split to attack and defense. You have steel and dark types were added. They added gender, they added breeding, they added friendship, they added held items.
Yes, this is why Thatch says Gen 2's his favorite gen. Like, and then everyone's like, well, Gold and Silver were awful games. I'm like, yes, but they did, because Gen 2 was trying to create like an ecosystem for you to play in, and not so much like a journey for you to play in, if that makes sense. They wanted you to like backtrack a lot.
I think they changed a lot. They changed a lot of the game.
Yeah, they did.
I think in Gen 2 more than any other gen.
I think breeding is probably the number one from Gen 2 there that you listed that I like the most. Only because, one, it's how you get into competitive now, but two, it's also the way that it introduced you to, or it gives you a way to fill your decks easier.
Without hurting so badly, as you are doing in blue right now.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah. I'm almost done with blue, by the way. I need to get back to that. I need to get... I'm very close, actually. My living decks in blue is like... I'm super close. Like, I'm missing like the red exclusives and the...
Ooh.
And like the pick one Pokemon deals.
Wow.
That's all I'm missing, I think, right now in blue.
I do agree with you guys that breeding is the best thing introduced in Gen 2, but when I remember Gen 2 and I remember how I felt about it, the thing that I remember like this cherry on top was the shinies.
That's completely fair.
See, I just liked the map of Johto a lot.
Well, let's move on to Gen 3 then.
But Gen 3.
Well, Gen 3,
Yes, Gen
I think
3.
we might all agree on this one. We'll see abilities.
So the other big one I was going to say was weather.
Ooh.
I
did
like abilities more than weather.
No, we had weather in Gen 2. Rain Dance existed in Gen 2.
Oh, I'm thinking Overworld
What?
then, because that's where they had it in the Overworld and it impacted the game.
Rain Dance and Sunny Day were introduced in Gen 2. Overworld weather didn't happen until Gen 3. You are correct in that.
Ah, okay, never mind. Then yeah, abilities is by far changed the whole game.
I only remember this because it was an Earl's Training Academy in Pokemon Stadium 2.
Wow.
Okay. Because they had like a whole lesson on like, use Sunny Day before you use Flamethrower so you can do more damage.
Now, I will say, Gen 3 had a hidden mechanic that changed the way I think we played Pokemon from there on. The box became so much easier to use, like your PC.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
Yes. Oh my
Because
gosh.
before you had to save changing from box 1 to box 2 and you can only see a couple of things, they made that entire interface incredible.
Yes. No, you know what? I'm going to say that's my favorite change from Gen 3. I'm honest. I'm going to be honest.
I might agree there, actually.
Because playing Gen 1, it's awful. Gen 2 is a little bit better. Only because in Gen 2 you can see the picture
Oh,
of
they
the
show you
Pokemon.
the pictures. Yeah.
Well, if you don't see you can't even check summaries or anything
No.
in Gen 1. It's awful. Like that box
But
system
Gen
is
3,
real
it's
bad.
you can just move stuff around like willy-nilly, which is great.
It's great. I'm still looking for a copy of Pokemon Box, by the way, if anybody wants to hit me up.
But, like, I think that's the biggest change for, like, competitive and casual players just everywhere. Like, they made it so much easier to use more than just your party. Because I remember in Gen 1, when I first played through Pokemon, I'm like, oh, I don't know how to use the box. If I put my Pokemon in there, maybe it's just gone forever.
I'm still on my Pokemon channel thought. I wonder if I can mod a GameCube and put it on there.
Oh, wow.
If I can, it's happening, guys.
I know.
Yeah, we're modding a GameCube.
I guess as far as, like, competitive changes for Gen 3, like, they made the EV system. It was around in Gen 2, but they really revamped it to, like, the 252s.
Well, it's more... I don't think it's really the 252s that were a big deal, as much as it was the... because they went from, like, the stat experience system to EVs. It was the 510. It was the 510, I think. That's the bigger deal.
Yeah. Yes.
I think the 510's a bigger deal, but... All right, Gen 4. Let's move on to Gen 4.
Ooh.
Gen 4 has the physical special split. I don't know what else is cool about that.
I mean,
I think if I want to say, like, if I want to be like real, it's physical special split. But the thing that makes me feel the best was all of the new Evos we got.
I think actually what Gen 4 did that is not on this list is the online connection.
Yes, 100%.
That has to be the best one.
You know what? That's correct, because that's why PUCL exists.
Yeah, GTS and online battling.
So I tried to start, like, before we had PUCL, I tried to start a whole online community for for just, like, Pokemon tournaments because of the online stuff. And, like, it was back in the day when, like, I think GeoCities was still a thing.
Yes.
And so I started the GeoCities to try to get that going. Like, that was before PUCL. And then we did PUCL, the podcast. Well, PUCL didn't start as a podcast. PUCL started out as a group of kids that, like, wanted to play Pokemon together, and we wanted to sound cool.
See, I remember going on, like, random servers and just trying to find people to battle and battling them and, like, you know, joining groups and talking to people and, you know, like, who wants to battle?
So before PUCL, there was like there was another Pokemon podcast called WTPT. They called themselves first the Pokemon Times and rebranded to the Palette Times or the Palette Tribune. They're since defunct. I think they ended their run in like 2010, 2011 or something like that. They were really good in my opinion, though. I like the vibe they gave off. They had like a little server. That's where we got the idea for PUCL and like turning it into a server like that. Or they had like a chat box, and we used the chat box to like hang out and do Pokemon stuff. And I would go over there and I'd battle people before we started PUCL, and that was a good time. Though you did have like a problem with so like the online hack detection for Gen 4 just was non-existent.
Oh.
So like you could plug your action replay into your DS and like give yourself like infinite HP or whatever.
Oh no.
Or not infinite, but like max HP, so like 999 HP or whatever. And so every Pokemon, like there were a couple of times where I ran into a guy that would just do that, but he played off like he wasn't, and you can't see it, right? Because you can't see his DS with the action replay in it. So it was dumb, but it brings back memories, good old memories.
Gen 5?
Gen 5.
I have 3 here.
Go for it.
Oof.
One is Infinite TMs, and the second and the third are N and Whimsicott.
Oh, that does remind me, we forgot something for Gen 3, which is double battles. They introduced double battles.
That's true.
I'm not excited about that.
Because triple battles came with Gen 5.
Okay, but triple battles were bad.
No, but like doubles is the format for VGC. So that is a very important, like...
No, doubles is the format for VGC, and I think it's the only format outside of singles that is decently balanced.
Yes.
Triple battles is bad. Rotation battles are bad.
Yes.
Oh, the other big thing I think with Gen 5 that, I mean, my real thing is the Poke Center and the Pokemart became the same thing.
That is very convenient and I love it.
I still think hidden abilities, like we were talking about earlier.
Oh, I mean, hidden abilities is, yeah.
I think that's big. I hated the original way to get them, though, until Black and White 2. Black and White 2 had the hidden grottos where you can go get them, but Black and White were fully about doing the online.
The Dream World.
In the Dream
You
World.
can also do the Hordes.
What? No, there's no Hordes in Gen 5. That's Gen 6.
There's no Hordes.
Never mind.
It was bad. God, it was bad.
It was only available through the Dream World in Black and White.
The Dream World Online and the Dream World Online was so bad. It was so bad. And it was at the time, too, where... So, like, I was in college. It was really hard to hook up your game consoles to, like, the college Wi-Fi. So it was so hard to do it. So, like, I'd have to, like, go to McDonald's and then, like, upload my Pokemon and then, like, go home and, like, play the Dream... I hated playing on the Dream World. Oh, my gosh.
It was dumb, and some of the time it didn't even work properly.
Yeah, it was just, well, because it was like a bunch of little kid mini games. It was like if you go to Pokemon.com right now, you can play games, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was like that quality of Flash game that you were playing on the
Yeah.
Dream World. You would occasionally like run into a Pokemon. God forbid they had bad IVs and they had the hidden ability. And then God forbid you got a male.
I mean, you could only get male hidden abilities from the Dream World.
Wait, was that true?
If you got a female, it could not have the hidden ability from the Dream World.
No.
That's bad.
Yes. In Black and White, it worked like that. I'm pretty sure.
I'm going to look this up and you're
Yes.
probably right. I just
Please
want
do.
confirmation.
Please do, because I am not 100% sure.
Because the mini games were so bad. It was just really bad. I really disliked it.
Yeah.
Anyways, I guess moving to Gen 6, Mega Evolutions.
No. Destiny Knot and Fairy type.
Oof. Yeah, that's a hard...
They do add Fairy type. They do add the Destiny Knot.
Yeah, ranking that's actually really hard.
They also added character customization for the first time.
I know.
Besides
Okay.
just, are you a boy or a girl?
Gen 6 did a lot of good things, except for the jump to 3D, in my opinion.
Gen 6 is the generation that got me, like, back into Pokemon. Like, I was really into it Gen 4.
It got a lot of people into it.
Mine came from, there was, like, some, like, gaming society at my college, and they were like, oh, we're gonna host a Pokemon tournament. And the guy who's running it was like, oh, I'm the best Pokemon player here. It's not even a challenge. No one should even compete. And I made a personal, like, I'm gonna crush you in this.
That's a personal vendetta right there.
Yeah.
You don't know who I am, and I'm going to purposely come in and destroy you. And I, like, declared this in front of, like, his whole group. We get to the tournament. I play him in the semifinals, destroy him.
Yes.
Yeah.
And, like, win the whole thing, get, like, a free, like, poster and t-shirt.
Yeah.
And he's just there like, oh, you only won because of, like, hacks, or I got paralyzed. And I'm like, no, I won because you're trash. And this is, like, the good time of, like, Gen 6, like, pre-bank Gen 6.
Oh, I love pre-bank meta.
Wow.
Pre-bank meta is amazing.
And he's like, well, and he's, like, making things like, I hit my Specs Hurricane on my Dragonite. That's all I needed to win.
Oh my gosh.
Or something absurd like that. And it was like, and I'm like, great. And this, I remember coming back to, like, my friends like, Mike, where'd you go? And I'm like, oh, I just went to win a Pokemon tournament, but I'm back now.
I mean, you're running Specs Dragonite. That tells you a lot.
I remember hitting 1500 on the ladder with it. And I was thrilled with it.
Quick circle back to the hidden ability discussion, because I did find it.
Sorry.
A
Yes.
Pokemon in the Dream World will always have its hidden ability. If it has one in Generation 5. Pokemon in the Dream World has a 25% chance of being female, regardless of gender distribution.
Okay.
Which made it worse still, because you could that was back when you could only breed females with hidden abilities.
Yes,
And it made life awful. Now I think it's both parents. Either one can have it.
I
I think the male has like a lower. I think the male has it with a Ditto. It's okay.
with a Ditto, yes, but not with the female.
Now with the female, yes.
It has to be with the Ditto.
It has to be with the Ditto. Yes.
Yeah.
But at least you could do it with. At least you can do it now.
Yes.
You didn't like the Ditto rule didn't exist.
I'm glad I was wrong, and it was not as bad as I remembered it being.
It was still a roll of the dice. It was 25, and you could only get like one of these a day.
Oh yeah, true.
You can only get one
Because your
Pokemon a day.
Pokemon went to sleep once a day.
Yeah, it was awful. I
Gosh.
hated it.
What was the Black and White 2 one to get
The
stuff?
Hidden
Was it just-
It was
Grottos.
Hidden
just
Grottos.
Grottos?
Yeah, much better system.
Okay.
They were empty most of the time, which was frustrating,
Yes,
but it wasn't as bad as having to go to a website with Flash games.
with Flash games. Yes, and not even good Flash games, mind you.
No.
Like terrible Flash games. The Dream World. I am glad to no longer believe exists.
Yeah.
But they also had like Pokemon
All right.
Dream Radar as well as like an option to use for some things.
Yeah.
That was the thing. Which you should download now before the eShop closes forever.
Right. You should.
So Gen 6, we had Fairy type.
Yes,
Destiny Knot.
Fairy type and Mega Evolution, which are the big things.
Mm-mm.
Okay. Oh, and the Destiny Knot we mentioned.
And yes,
Okay.
breeding got a nice buff, right?
Yep.
So Gen 7 then.
The removal of HMs.
Yeah, the removal of HMs for me.
Yeah, the removal of HMs 1000% I think wins this hardcore. It also includes my least favorite change of all time in Pokemon, the Rotom Pokedex. No, I hate it. I hate it. And let me explain to you why I hate the Rotom Pokedex. I hate the Rotom Pokedex for several reasons. One, the Rotom Pokedex never shuts up in Gen 7.
No, it doesn't.
Which is one of the most annoying things. Two, they've decided it started this thing where it's just like, this was a cute idea. Why don't we use it all of the time?
Yeah.
And so in Gen 8, we got not only a Rotom phone, but we also got a Rotom
The
drone
Rotom bike.
and a Rotom bike and like all of this other nonsense.
And none of them are playable.
Yes, none of them are playable. That is where I was going.
Yeah, I know.
They're just like, here's this Pokemon. We made all these cool new forms that people have been asking for new forms of Rotom forever because the 5 we have are really cool and it'd be cool to see the rest of the types fleshed out, kind of like evolutions. And they're making these forms and not doing anything cool with them. Instead, they just talk to you and it's shrill and annoying. The voice also of Rotom Dex in the Gen 7 anime is absolutely awful and I have nightmares about it.
I've never heard it, and now that you've described it, I'm grateful I haven't.
You know how like it's annoying in game? Imagine that, but they gave it a voice.
Ugh.
Yeah, it's bad, and I dislike it.
To purposely get off this topic,
No.
the fact that so there were two other things that I think Gen 7 did that are very useful. One was you can now check the stats changes that happen to your Pokemon during battle.
Yes,
Not bad.
That's true.
Not bad.
It's just a useful thing that I'm glad they added in. And they brought the idea of regional Pokemon.
I love that.
That makes up for Rotom
I
Dex.
Like in the deck, like in the actual Pokemon. You can
No. It makes up for Rotom Dex. That's what I said. It makes up for Rotom Dex being awful. Is regional Pokemon because they made Rattata cool.
Because that gives them a new way to add new things without increasing their deck size. And it's much easier to be like, just take this Pokemon, recolor it slightly, new types, and you're done. Because and we've seen that in Gen 8. I guarantee we're going to see it in Gen 9.
Yeah. And it's an excellent way of, expanding the decks without expanding the decks too much.
Exactly. It means they only have to make less new Pokemon, and they can just give us more regionals.
Yeah. And I have to be honest, I'm looking at the list for Gen 8, and except maybe the fact that you can transfer egg moves, Gen 8 did nothing for me.
TRs?
The new things, other than Pokemon Osmosis. I think Gen 8, what it brought was, I guess
compatibility.
It just brought a lot of quality of life. I think more than anything exciting, in my opinion. I don't know if we want to count Let's Go improvements as Gen 7 improvements, but I still think being able to access the box from anywhere is very, very nice.
Okay, that one is amazing. I
do hate that I still have to go to a PC if I want to heal Pokemon. Or an actual Pokemon Center, yeah.
You can camp and make curry. Yuck.
That's my response to that.
I like that they continued regionals because they realized it was a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you could also include Pokemon Legends Arceus in Gen 8 if you really want to. And all of the changes that brought.
I would not. I would not.
So all they've really done is just add, give more Pokemon. Either they took moves away or they've added new moves to them. Or they've slightly buffed Pokemon or nerfed them a little bit. And, they're just balancing.
I think the Ycom is also the next best thing to the PSS for a single screen experience.
But nothing is like the PSS.
The PSS was the ultimate way to be online.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In a single screen experience, I think the Ycom is the next best thing. I honestly am going to say that I like the pairing system better than I've ever liked the PSS or anything on Gen 7. No, I mean, Festival Plaza was garbage, but
yes,
I really enjoy just putting in the code and you connect to whoever's on the other end of the code. I enjoy that so much.
That is nice.
It is the best thing in the entire world. No more friend codes. I'm just done with friend codes.
Yeah.
Still upset with Nintendo for not giving us gamer tag equivalents. The Switch still has a friend code.
Yeah, I know.
2022 Nintendo.
Yeah, but the good thing they did, at least with at least I know Pokemon Unite, is you can click on the person's name that you battled with and just instantly friend them.
Yes, and I think that's something that they need to have. But I don't know, I actually looking at that list and seeing how little Gen 8 added makes me a little sad.
Yeah, same.
Looking at this list.
I was going into Gen 9,
yeah,
what do we want to see?
I mean, I feel like we talked about it a little bit, but I don't know. Just give me something. I don't know. I mean, it's going open world, and it's probably going to be closer to the style of Legends Arceus. I don't know that catching is going to be as seamless. I think they announced that, right?
Yeah, they announced that you have to battle the Pokemon. Now, maybe the transition into battle is the seamless one from Arceus, which is cool.
I think the transition into battle is going to be similar as to Arceus, based on what we're seeing, which I think will make it better.
I'm fine with that as long as they keep the same battle style.
Same.
I hated the turns, and I never want to go back to that again.
I don't know that I want to see anything that would make this kind of list, right, where it's very blatantly obvious. Because, I mean, if you're looking at Gen 8 as well, like, they didn't even put overworld Pokemon for Wilds in there, right?
They did.
True.
They didn't, but yeah.
They didn't put that. And so you would get a lot of things like that in Gen 9.
I kind of liked the mix of it being, you could see some stuff in the overworld and some stuff you don't.
So I was watching a Lutu video this week. That's about all of the Pokemon content I really consumed this week was Lutu. He made a very good point. He has a video up about is Pokemon like moving too fast, a discussion that we had in an episode a couple months ago. He had a video about that, and he was talking about the game design of Sword and Shield and how because Pokemon's moving so fast, it can't adapt to grab like the good things of like the game right before it fast enough.
Yeah.
Which is, I think, a good point, because he goes, you look at Sword and Shield where they have overworld Pokemon because they wanted to include them after the reception of Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. Which is why they did it. They've stated that very clearly. He goes, but then you look at the routes, and the routes had to change entirely because they tried to do it, and they didn't seem to have enough time to go and properly put Pokemon properly in there, and so the routes feel empty and very straight because they're not intended to, like, they're this weird mix of like trying to be overworld encounters but not be overworld encounters.
And I think they did a better job with it with Legends Arceus, though.
No, they did because Legends Arceus got to take time to reiterate on that, right? I'm hoping that Gen 9 will get the lessons that Legends Arceus received. So that, I mean, I don't know that this would make this kind of list, right? Where it's just like, this is a better experience. Because at this point, and maybe this is just me being uncreative.
Get rid of the timer. Done.
Timer would be great. Like, just having a better, more fluid experience like Legends Arceus would be great as well. Like, if the single player experience becomes way better for Pokemon, I'm all for that as well.
Yeah.
Like, you look at something like Pokemon, or not Pokemon, but like Breath of the Wild, which is a fantastic single player experience. I would love for something like that to happen with Pokemon, which Legends Arceus was very close.
So I just thought of the Gen 8 thing that I absolutely loved, and I want them to bring back that wasn't on the list. Rental codes.
Rental codes.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Like, the ability to just be like, take someone else's team and play online without having to do your own thing is phenomenal.
That's not a Gen 8 exclusive thing. That happened in Gen 7.
When in Gen 7?
It happened in Gen 7.
It did.
It happened in Gen 7. It was QR code based, though.
Yeah, but like, it was so much easier.
No. Literally, Gen 8 is the generation of quality of life improvements. Like,
okay. But like, in my mind, like, that's still like something I loved having, and I would love to see that going forward.
Yes, I don't disagree with you.
In my mind, if they could take all of the quality of life improvements from Gen 8, add some other fun, mechanic of some kind. Although because I hated Dynamaxing, and I still will hate Dynamaxing.
Yes. I think Dynamax missed the mark on a lot of ways, and Dynamax missed the mark a lot. And I don't know, they have some new symbol in the Japanese thing, and it scares me. Like, for me, and I know it's not going to happen because of the Japanese logo, I would just love no gimmick. Like, no gimmick, please. I don't need it. It's fine.
But go back to Megas. Simple.
You literally just keep Megas and just let's go forward with that. Like, I don't need more gimmick, please.
Because if I'm looking at the list of stuff that we have and the new changes I would love to see is, I loved the Battle Frontier that we used to have, and I would love for more, things like that.
I could see that happening.
I would love to, at least Battle Factory.
Battle Factory, right?
The Battle Factory was one of my favorite and still my favorite thing. Where it's just, you can just go in and you are given random Pokemon and you just play with them.
Yeah, I mean, somebody came up with something, I think it was in an email last week, where they suggested that they would like to see something where you could have players introduced to competitive. Thinking more on that, throughout the week, I thought more about Earl's Pokemon Academy in Pokemon Stadium 2, where I learned a lot about basic Pokemon. for competitive battling, and I would love to see something
yeah.
like that. Like maybe it's not exactly something in Scarlet and Violet. I don't know. Like this is just like Thatch's Pokemon Stadium Extreme, right?
Yeah.
that just reoccur. Like it's bingo card, right?
Yeah. I mean, I'm kind of going the opposite direction with my thought process here. So the games are getting more and more and more evolved, and the system is powerful, and it's more and more like a, proper classic RPG.
It is,
You have character customization and stuff. I know they're not gonna do it, but what if you had story paths?
It's either that or like I would love to have side quests like that actually matter as part of the game.
I hope so.
Maybe.
That'd be a good one, actually. I don't disagree with that, Claude.
Like now that you can replay the game without buying it again or erasing your previous save file. Say you do something like super simple, like Fire Emblem Three Houses. You have like 4 possible endings.
Oof.
Okay, you need maybe 3 endings for a Pokemon game.
That sounds like too much. I'm going to be honest, because I didn't finish 3 houses because there's 3 paths. Well, there's technically like 4, I think. But
Yeah, there's 4 in Three Houses.
That's
but
so
in Pokemon,
much.
you need maybe 3.
2.
And it doesn't have to change. I don't know. 2 seems like, you have versions.
Yes.
2 versions are already your like story path in a way.
They should go to 1 version. I think they should 1000% just go to 1 version, but they won't. They're too scared.
They won't. They make too much money with 2.
Yes, they do. Yeah.
But I would love the idea of like there's like we see it in Arceus. There's a bunch of side missions that you can complete that unlock more of the game. I think that's like a fun addition to like the main series where it's like, oh, you like I think of like the Delta episode in ORAS, where it's an extra thing you can do that adds more. That can add a little bit more.
I like
to the
that.
game.
I like that.
That's what I'd love to see is just more abilities to do this, not just in the end game, but like throughout the game.
Yes.
Where it's, you talk to this person and like, oh, hey, if you do this thing for you, I can show you where you can find this Pokemon. And then now it's, you can find this Pokemon only after talking to this person and like doing this little event for them. Mm-hmm. This way it forces you to do more things with it. But that's just, my little pipe dream of wanting to incorporate all the different aspects of games I enjoy into one.
I don't know that will happen, honestly, only because, like I said earlier, they don't have enough time to just like pivot like that.
Yeah.
Well, they did it for Legends Arceus, kind of.
Well, yeah, they did it for Legends Arceus, but that doesn't. Okay, so that's like I'm gonna go back to the example of Overworld Pokemon, right? They put Overworld Pokemon in Sword and Shield, but I do not think they put Overworld Pokemon in Sword and Shield well.
No, exactly. Arceus started as a different game already.
Yes.
Yeah. It's a pipe dream I have, but that's all I got.
You'll see it in Gen 10. You'll see it in Gen 10. Like the things that we like now is like you wait 2 gens because they're moving too fast. So I think this is a good place to stop.
Yeah.
So we'll stop it here, guys. We're gonna kick it on over to the Pokemon of the episode. So we will catch you on the flip flop.
The episode.
And welcome to our Pokemon of the episode. Our Pokemon of the episode this week is National Dex number 643, Reshiram, the vast white Pokemon.
Its Pokemon Shield Pokédex entry states, according to myth, if people ignore truth and let themselves become consumed by greed, Reshiram will arrive to burn their kingdoms down.
Oh my gosh.
That's pretty cool.
That's pretty...
Yes.
Wow, okay. Reshiram, the somewhat worse dragon, but not entirely.
He was my favorite. I thought he looked cute. I didn't like Zekrom as much.
I liked Zekrom better at the time, but I don't know. Gen 5's a weird gen for me because I didn't exactly fall out of Pokemon, but I also at the time was just like, Gen 5 feels really disconnected. I don't know how I feel. Because they were trying to do the whole thing. Black and White 2 saved Gen 5 for me.
100%.
Yeah.
So it did a very good job with that.
As much as I loved Black and White, I agree with you.
Yeah.
Like, Black and White 2 is a game I would go and replay, and I will go replay it at some point in the near future, but not...
Absolutely. Yeah, once my basement's done. That's when we'll do it, Claude.
Yeah.
Just come on over, help me finish my basement, okay?
Well, that, and I know Drayano did a recent hack of, like a redo of Black and White 2 by adding Fairy and other stuff.
And I still gotta play that Emerald thing that you showed me the other day. We should do that on stream. Probably not this week, but maybe like next week. Let me finich my basement.
I actually around next week. Perfect. I'll set that up.
Yeah, we'll talk. Yeah, because this week I can't do it. So I'll probably go back to the Emerald Nuzlocke we're doing, but we should just do like another day, like on next Thursday or something, where I just come on and do the other one. I think it'll be fun. Yeah, all right. Sounds good. You heard it here first, folks. All right, so we've got Reshiram today. Reshiram's a decent-ish Pokemon. It's base 680 stat total because he's legendary. Drinking all that milk. And he's got an HP of 100. He's got a attack stat of 120, which I think people forget about all the time. That these legends just like still have massive attack stats, or like special attack stats, but the other one's higher, so nobody really thinks about it. Base defense of 100, base special attack of 150, base special defense of 120, and then unfortunately a base speed of 90. Like 90 is just like just like the too low. To be fair, Gen 5 though was the time where dragons and fighting types reigned supreme. Yeah. So I don't feel bad for it. It got scale shot. Good for you.
Ooh.
It got scale shot. Good for you, Reshiram.
Yeah, it's gotten good.
Yeah. So what we got today is a VGC team, and we've been trying to do not Zosh and Kyogre's VGC teams. And so today we have what the owner of this team, Ultra, calls the team Reshram, which is a lot of fun. So it's Reshiram, Zekrom as your two legends in VGC. So you can use this maybe for the PFTT if we ban everything, and which would be fun, honestly. Yeah. So this team, you've got a safety goggles Reshiram with the ability Turbo Blaze. It's got 108 EVs and HP, 4 defense, 76 special attack, 68 special defense, 252 speed. The 4 in defense is because level 50 shenanigans. Timid nature because you gonna go fast. And you've got yourself Draco Meteor, Fusion Flare, Protect, and Earth Power, which is honestly not a bad set at all.
No. Stabbing ground.
Yeah, that sounds like fun. That's a decent set, and then he can't be put to sleep by a Mungus, and I actually don't know what the safety goggles are accomplishing.
It's for sand and hail damage.
Yes, maybe.
You also can't be spored.
Yeah, I think Spore's the bigger one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think Spore's the bigger.
And you can't be rage powered either. And all of these moves are single target.
Yeah.
So
its partner is Zekrom with the Choice Scarf. This is a black and white team. I like this. It's got Choice Scarf, so it is going fast. He's got 44 HP, 164 attack, 52 defense, 44 special defense, 204 speed, Jolly nature. I assume that it gets it to just like outspeed like Retro Lucky or something. Jolly nature. With Fusion Bolt, Breaking Swipe again, so that needs to be fixed.
Yeah, we're gonna say maybe, I don't know.
Outrage. I'm gonna put Outrage there for right now. I'm gonna put Outrage instead of second Breaking Swipe.
Yeah.
But Breaking Swipe's also good. I mean, it's that important because you get that drop on both of your opponents.
I mean, it's scarfed, so if you want, you could possibly maybe consider Rock Slide.
Yes, that's true too. Yeah. But yeah, those are those two. We got 2 more. I don't know who wants to go next. Anybody can go.
I'll go.
Finish off the Gen 5 boys.
We got 2 legends, so that only makes sense that we have 2 genies as well. And to start things off, we have Landorus, Incarnate, regular Landorus, with a Life Orb, with Sheer Force, level 50, with 220 HP, 4 defense, 76 special attack, 68 special defense, and 140 speed with a Modest nature, with Earth Power, Sludge Bomb, Protect, and U-Turn. Just your standard kind of like offensive, kind of bulky Landorus that sits and does lots of damage because Sheer Force, Life Orb.
Yeah.
And then to go with that, we have some of our support on the team with Tornadus, Incarnate, with Leftovers, Prankster ability, 244 HP, 156 defense, 4 special attack, 20 special defense, and 84 speed, Bold nature, with Air Slash, Scary Face, Taunt, and Tailwind.
Ooh.
Yeah, get all the shenanigans going on.
I like Tailwind a lot, actually, though.
I like Scary Face. That's cool, tech with.
Scary Face is really good. I like Scary.
So, Scary Face could get really interesting because of the next Pokemon we're about to see.
Yes.
So, we're moving on from Gen 5 to Gen 6, and we have a Trevenant holding a Keyberry, with the ability Harvest.
I love it.
It has a relaxed nature, 164 defensive Vs, and 92 special defensive Vs.
He did not even finish out. The guy didn't even finish out the EV spread for a Trevenant.
I think the rest are in HP.
I know. Yeah, it has to be. An IV of 2 in speed, which I'm sure hits a very precise number that I have no idea what it does.
What's Trevenant's base speed? It's gotta be weird. Keep going.
60 something, I think. So it has Reflect, fine. It's a physically defensive Pokemon with a Key Berry on top of it. Ooh, Harvest, amazing. Will-O-Wisp, cool. Hornleech to gain back some HP. And then it has Trick Room. So you will notice when I go to the next Pokemon that there are no slow Pokemon on this team.
Yes.
Because the next Pokemon is a Tapu Fini, but what you can do with Prankster Scary Face on Tornadus is if you're in Trick Room, you can Scary Face your friend, and that friend becomes very slow, which means since the speed applies immediately, it goes first in Trick Room right now. And it's very complicated tech because it means that the Pokemon that set the Trick Room has to get off the field in order for this to work with something else.
Well, also, if your opponent uses Trick Room, you can abuse it that way, too.
Absolutely.
It's a good counter Trick Room, yeah.
Yeah. It's very interesting to me. And then we have something a little bit more classic, which is a Choice Specs Tapu Fini with Misty Surge, of course. It has 156 HP EVs, 4 defense, 244 special attack, 44 special defense, 60 speed with a modest nature, and it's running Muddy Water, Dazzling Gleam, Ice Beam, and Trick in case you
trick
find a
Zacian?
wall that... No, you can't.
I didn't think you could. Yeah.
No, but you can trick a Porygon too, or
You could trick a Porygon 2. A Porygon 2 might be scary actually to hand some Choice Specs to, but
But something like
a Moongus.
I'd be all for. Or even like say a Clefable or a Clefairy. You can ruin a utility mon's life with Choice Specs because it also means they can't protect.
Yeah.
So.
Or they only protect.
Yeah, which means they don't protect turn 2. So
yeah, that's very true.
It's a bit of a complicated thing, but this looks like fun, honestly.
Yeah, no, it does look like a lot of fun. I'm definitely going to try it out. I'm going to try it out on Showdown now that I'm unbanned and it's not April Fool's. All right, so yeah, if you want this team in shiny form, you could probably grab it over on our Patreon at patreon.com/PoGo Podcast. Unless you want to just play around with it, we'll have the paste over on our Discord server. So be sure to check it out. All right, so that's going to be it for Pokemon of the episode. We're going to kick it on over to the mailbag.
It's mail time! It's time for the mailbag! Send in your emails!
And welcome to the mailbag. The mailbag is the part of the show where you can send us emails at pokopodcast@gmail.com and we will read them on the show. So this segment, as always, is brought to you by the energy drink Green Tauros, the energy drink that gives you hooves.
Hooves.
And as always, we'll hand out the Green Tauros badge to anybody we deem worthy and is set up everything the way we want it to, or sets up a conversation or something. I don't know. We've only got 2 this week, unfortunately, so I'm going to go ahead and break into this first one. Our first one is going to be from Ellis. Hello, Puckle Crew. Hope all is well. Since the last time I wrote in, I had my second child, a little girl named Violet. Ooh. But she was named that well before Scarlet and Violet were announced because she was born in July of last year.
Well,
on to the mailbag question. I'm a big fan of the tournament champion style format and Sword and Shield, and I would like to see something like that return. Actually, that's not a bad idea. I appreciated that more than Elite Four. I'm not gonna lie. Or if they do go back to Elite Four, I don't want to have to battle them again after becoming champion. Now, I think they kind of fixed that in Alola, where the champion would always swap, or the champion challenger would always swap, which was really nice.
Yeah,
I really like that. So
it was nice.
They're kind of they're just doing an extension of that in Sword and Shield. Also, would it be too much to ask that after becoming champion, everyone acknowledges you as such? Kind of, actually. There's probably a lot of text added.
Yeah.
I've always felt that I get no respect as champion. Thanks for reading, Alice. Well, if they do bring back Elite Four, the one thing I would really appreciate is that if they brought back Elite Four, I would like to see in-universe reasons for there being an Elite Four.
Ooh.
You know, well, so they did like a really good job of justifying the existence in Gen 8 and Gen 7, like of the trial captains and even the kahunas, as well as the gym leaders in Gen 8. They did a really good job of justifying their existence and what role they play in society. And I remember Gen 1, they like had little text blurbs if you talk to all the NPCs about the Elite Four and stuff like that. And like one of them was just like, I don't understand why they're not helping with Team Rocket. And then I sat there, you know, little 8-year-old me, he's just sitting there like, yeah, you know what? You're right. Why aren't they doing anything about this?
That's true.
So I would like to see something like that. I don't know. The manga fixes a lot of this. I have learned
the manga's great.
I've learned that graphic novels and comic books are the ultimate media form if you want good stories. So go check out them.
Honestly, kinda, yes.
Yeah, kind of. I've learned that if you want like really good, intricate stories, like those are the places to go. So just check those out, I guess, if you want to know. The manga is really good. The Pokemon manga is solid.
Yeah, Pokemon Adventures. There are like 10 Pokemon mangas. We're talking about the main one.
Yeah, Pokemon Adventures. And honestly, Pokemon Adventures kind of drops off after Gen 3, but...
You can just, you can read the Emerald Arc and then stop forever.
Just stop. Don't go any farther.
Yes.
Just stop.
No.
Just stop, because...
Do yourself a favor.
Yeah, it was kind of like what they did to Gen 3 with the Pokedex, and then poof, just like, no more transfer. It's just like, oh...
Yeah, Once Diamond and Pearl show up, and you're like, oh, the manga's been so good until now, I bet this is going to pick up in like a chapter. It never picks up.
No, it doesn't.
Just put it down.
It just doesn't.
Just put it down.
Yeah, because they were trying to do like so much original stuff, and then like when Diamond and Pearl came out, they're just like, what if we just did the game?
Yeah. And also, there's also this thing where the whole shtick with Diamond and Pearl, the characters, is a very specifically Japanese type of comedic sketch, which we don't get. So it's made even worse by the fact that it's supposed to be funny, what they're saying and doing, but it's never funny because it doesn't translate linguistically or culturally well.
Womp womp.
So it's just bad. It's just bad.
Yeah, no bueno.
No bueno.
No bueno. But yeah, thanks for reading, Ellis. That's what we got for him. I do hope they justify it, though. Like, I would just love to see Elite Four justified just once. They did, even Gen 5 does a good job with like gym leaders stepping up to help stop Team Plasma. Elite Four doesn't.
Yeah.
The gym leaders do.
The way I see the Elite Four in like Gen 1 is we all agree that the headcanon/theory that there was just a war before Gen 1 is very plausible.
No, I absolutely agree with that.
I could understand the Elite Four being like the special last line of defense of the region. And so they don't step in with Team Rocket, which is just a crime syndicate. But then this explanation falls apart Gen 3 onwards because the world is ending.
Yes,
so
exactly.
I got nothing there. You know.
To be fair, that's more of a fan theory than like anything real. But
yeah, it's
funny.
As you always say, Pokemon works a lot on headcanon.
It used to. I don't know that that's the case anymore. I'm gonna be honest. I feel like they really want to develop their own kind of stuff. They're just really bad at delivery.
Yeah, very much so, especially in Sword and Shield.
I think Gen 7 and Gen 8 have shown that.
Gen 7 still had a bit of a room for things. Gen 8 was just like, we're not even going to let you imagine you're the hero of the story.
Oh my gosh, that was the worst.
Leon is going to do everything in your place.
I cannot believe, like, I totally understand what they were trying to do with the character arc of Leon. And, like, Hop had a very decent character arc as well. But I don't know. It felt like they were trying to read me a story instead of letting me RPG. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like you are trying to mix a silent blank slate protagonist with a plot. And it's extremely hard to put those things together.
Exactly.
And make them work.
Like, it worked with Zelda. Zelda. It doesn't work with that format of Pokemon
it works.
Literally all you had to do is help Leon a couple of times, where you could see Leon being awesome, right? Like I still can't get over how they like let him beat the Dynamax Berserker on his own, like off screen.
Yes.
All they had to do was be like, Hop and you join up with Leon to do it. And then Leon's just doing like massive damage and you're helping. And then you're just like, oh,
they
man.
have the mechanic. It's a raid battle.
It literally exists. You literally do one later to end the game.
It's so dumb.
I think it would have been, because like, I think it would have meant more, especially if like you would have gone into that raid battle with Leon and you see him doing massive damage while you're not doing as much. And then you go up to a Turnamax, right? And you see that Leon's lost and you're just like, oh no.
Yeah. I can see like two reasons they might not have done that. One is that they would have had to program the opposing Pokemon to only hit Leon's Pokemon.
I think you could do that.
Otherwise you would wipe.
I think
which is fine.
I think they could do that though.
Exactly. And the second reason they might not have done that is that it would have taken away the impact from the Eternatus battle at the end. To see something similar halfway through the game.
I think it would have been good like just from a storytelling standpoint, it's really good foreshadowing.
I agree with you, but I'm just trying to see it from their point of view.
I think it would have added to the Eternatus battle. I think it would have added to it.
I agree. I think
it would have added. So I'm just gonna throw that out there. I don't know. The Pokemon, just call me. I'll do free consultations. Yeah. That's all. I'll do free consultations. You don't even have to show me anything new. I'll tell you about all the old stuff. Sit me down on the couch. We can talk just for like a little bit. All right. Well, we got one more email today, and that's going to be from Big Cat Bruce.
Yup. Bruce says, "Hey, Puckle homies. I hope you all are doing great today. Thank you for asking this question, game, because I truly needed 2 weeks to think about my answer. I've decided that the things I would love to see in Gen 9 are features that some prominent fan-made games have. Interesting. First, I would love to see a challenge mode option.
Yes.
Obligatory, like, we need to mention Black and White 2 had it, but it had it in a stupid way that you couldn't use, so, yeah.
Obligatory, everybody wishes that we had it, and...
Yeah. No, I just meant we need to mention that it theoretically existed in Black and White 2, but it
did exist. It did exist, but
in practice it didn't.
In literally the worst way possible.
Exactly. They could make it available only if the player has Sword and Shield, BDSP, or PLA data on their Switch. I don't know. I get the reasoning behind this, but I don't like it.
Okay, so I am... controversial opinion, I am all for like all the freebies for having save data on your Switch for any previous Pokemon game.
Yeah, but this isn't like a freebie.
No, I agree. This isn't. I don't think this would be proper, but I do think that like when you got the Jirachi and the Mew and BDSP for having having save
those
data.
Those were great.
I think that
those were great.
I'm a fan of that. I think that is one of the best things. Like #sorry not sorry if you didn't play other Pokemon games.
I like that. I just don't agree that this sort of thing should be behind that sort of wall.
I agree with that.
Okay. Ideally, it isn't just higher level Pokemon, but some more difficult movesets, strategic held items, and predictive AI. Or, spoilers for the end of Legends Arceus, your opponent just has 3 Pokemon teams. That's fine.
Yeah.
Second, and kind of an extension of my first request, is I'd like to see gyms that aren't just monotype.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I know it's unrealistic to get a Trick Room gym or a Stall gym. Well, we kind of did get a double battle / weather gym at the end of Gen 8, so it's not that far-fetched.
Yeah, I agree with that. I also, we do the Summer League at PUCL, right, where we do like the monotype stuff, but we used to do a lot of other stuff like that, like other leagues where we had gym leaders and everything. And once instead of doing types, we did like themes.
Yeah.
Like I did like a reptile theme once.
Ooh.
So you could actually have more Pokemon that are different types.
I love that.
And so I think doing something like that would be interesting. Though I agree. My honest opinion, this is me being Seth Bilo, and this is me putting on my tinfoil hat about what's going to happen in Scarlet and Violet, is that Scarlet and Violet's going to be all about types, and that the gimmick's going to be some kind of like spectrum type change. thing where you can like momentarily change a Pokemon's type with an item, and it's gonna be based on the wavelength of color, because Scarlet's in the infrared and Violet's in the ultraviolet. Yeah, and it's gonna be like the spectrum of light.
The wheel of types in the main square.
And if it's only gonna get worse and it's only gonna be monotype stuff the entire time, there's gonna be some reason that there's gonna be like 18 people you have to go talk to. And that's how they make it open world. Or open world, in the sense that I think there'll still be like so I think I talked about this a few weeks ago, but open world doesn't necessarily mean like you can just go anywhere all of the time.
Oh yeah. There can be a river and you need a boat.
Exactly. That can still happen. So that is something that can still happen in these games. The only thing is, I think they might like open up an area to you, and you can go get like the next 5 like types or something, and then you open it up and then you go get the next 5, and then so on and so forth or whatever.
Yeah. And then end game, you can go through it all, but you can't visit it all at the beginning. Yeah,
yes,
I agree.
Exactly. That's how I see Scarlet and Violet playing out. A lot of people just take open world to mean Breath of the Wild nowadays, which is just wrong.
No.
Which is Breath of the Wild is the exception, not the standard. Like Grand Theft Auto even does it, where they like just like put a blockade of cars in front of you, in front of a bridge that you can't go through.
Okay. Back to the email. I know it's unrealistic to get a Trick Room gym or a Stall gym, but I think a spooky gym using Ghost, Dark, and Bug types, or a fantasy gym using Steel, Dragon, and Fairy types could be a lot of fun. Like the last one would be super hard though.
I still think it'd be fun to have something like that where you can mix up types. I don't disagree with this concept. I just don't think it's going to happen. I think like double type gyms would be fun, and you could have a theme there, sort of like kind of like, I think. Okay, so you say geography, and like you have a gym themed around the swamp, where they use grass and water types. I see what you mean. Like I know exactly. And then like you have one in the power plant and it's electric steel.
Yeah, and the desert is rock ground.
Yeah.
Something like that. I would like that.
That's not a bad idea. Anything to change it up, right? I'm all for changing it up. And honestly, I think they'll change it up. I think they'll still change it up here, but I don't know that gyms will be a thing in Scarlet and Violet, or if they are, they won't be the exact. I don't know. I also like the gym challenges in Sword and Shield. I thought those were the most creative gym challenges we've ever had.
Those are cute.
I like those, and I hope they keep happening. Outside of like the water gym, I think the water gyms one was pretty bad.
Well, it was a bit too long.
It wasn't that it was long. It was just that it was like pretty much just like a 3D version of what we've had before. But like the Wooloo one,
was so cute.
That was really good.
Yeah.
That was completely unique.
I really loved it.
Yeah.
In fact, I loved it so much that when the others afterwards were not as good, it made me disappointed in the rest of the game.
Right? No. Like they have some ideas. And even like the ice type one was a lot of fun too. So
was it the same as the rock type one?
I don't know. That's a good question.
The ice gym shield.
I never played the rock type one, so I should do that.
No, I think it's the same. It's like sort of a minefield of holes in the ground, right?
No.
No,
it's like you're sliding down on a tube, essentially, I think. Maybe I'm misremembering.
Oh, okay. The rock type one is there are holes in the ground.
Maybe we're wrong. Man, okay. Our memories are bad. All right. I believe you.
Okay. I'll just move on with the email. Finally, and to me my biggest request, is we finally get numerical values for EVs and IVs. Honestly, I think it's kind of ridiculous that they are hidden away and require external resources to find them out. Especially with EVs, it would be great to make small tweaks to a spread with a few EV reset berries of vitamins to get the numbers you want. You know what? I agree with this.
Mm-hmm.
They've given us literally everything else.
Absolutely.
So I don't
agree.
see why, it doesn't really need to still stick to the mysterious lore of Pokemon stats as hard as it's been doing.
I absolutely agree.
Yeah. I know that we may see a Tappy fly before we get these, but a guy can dream. Thanks so much, and I hope you didn't fall for any April Fool's jokes. Big Cat Bruce.
No, you're right. No, you're actually right. They're both the exact same.
Yeah.
They're the exact same challenge. I'm wrong.
Okay. Cool. So the thing here with the April Fool's joke is I saw a couple of videos that were posted yesterday, and I expected them to be April Fool's jokes. And then I clicked, and they weren't. And honestly, I was kind of disappointed. I was like, why didn't we have something fun?
Yeah, I only saw a couple things, and I was like, oh, well, that's cute, I guess. But I'm okay with not April Fool's jokes, because I think they're a waste of time.
I like the, good-hearted ones.
Yes.
That are like, I'm gonna just come up with something very random to amuse you guys. And, the ones that are obvious and a bit funny, and everyone is sharing a chuckle together.
That's
and
fair.
You're like, oh, this is cute. I like those.
That's fair. Well, all right. That's our emails for this week. Do you think anybody gets the Green Taurus badge? We talked a lot for both of them.
Yeah.
They also had they also had the handicap that it was me and you.
Yeah, so we talk about everything a lot.
You know what? You both get it. Why not? We're nice. Yay! Ask for it when you get to it. All right. If you want to email us next week at pucklepodcast@gmail.com, let us know what your favorite thing that was ever added during a generational shift was in Pokemon. We'd love to hear it. So pucklepodcast@gmail.com. And if you want to hang out with us throughout the week, come and check out the Discord, pucklediscord.com. Follow us on social media over at Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram. You can, of course, also follow us over on YouTube at youtube.com/c/pucklepodcast. I think there's a /c in there. And of course, you can always follow us on Twitch. I won't be streaming this week, but I should be back at it next week at twitch.tv/thepucklepodcast. With that in mind, though, I have been... Oh, and if you want to support the show monetarily, you can also go over to patreon.com/pucklepodcast. We're going to get shiny Pokemon and choose episode topics and whatnot. It's a good time. So check that out at patreon.com/pucklepodcast. Here in the Lavender Town Radio Tower, though, I have been Trainer Thatch.
I have been the Fluffiest Whimsicott.
And I've been Clod9.
And here in the Lavender Town Radio Tower, it's closing time.
It's closing time in Lavender Town. Time to say our goodbye.